This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we have a gas stove that the burners are not lighting. We're hearing some clicking, but they're not starting. So one thing to try is to remove the burner head, and then using a straightened paper clip or something sharp, you push it down into the little brass hole where the gas comes out, called the gas jet, and you just wiggle in there to get free any dirt that may have collected that's blocking the gas. Sometimes that'll do the trick and you'll get a nice flame like this one. There's other things that you can try though too if you're not getting the flame. This one, when we turn it, we're noticing that we hear the gas but there's no click, and that could be due to a problem with the ignition switch. We're going to try a few things here to try to get this one going. One is we'll do the same technique, make sure the gas jet is clear, putting something sharp in that little brass piece in the middle. Put the burner head back on, and no change, still no click, so it's probably not the issue. I'm going to try a couple other ideas. I'm going to use this electrical cleaner. You can get this at Home Depot, and we're going to spray in where the ignition switch is located. We just pulled the knob straight off. We're going to spray a little bit of this in there to see if maybe we can clean the copper contacts inside the switch that may be fouled with carbon deposits over time. Sometimes that'll do the trick and get the switch working again, which allows electricity to go to the igniter and you'll get the click. Back one's working. But we're getting same thing where we get gas flowing but no click. So we're going to see if maybe we can clean up these switches, see if that'll help. The back one works. That switch is effective. You can hear it clicking. But when the switches wear out, they don't send the power from the spark module and you don't get any clicking sound. So spraying them with the electrical cleaner may do the trick. Another thing to try is to really clean the burner head with a wire brush. I'm spraying in here where the switch is located to try to clean up the copper contacts. If you clean the burner head really well with a copper brush or steel brush and the burner head, it can make a better contact for the electricity to flow for the ground, and that can help the spark if you have a weak spark or a non-existent spark. I got a feeling though with this stove it's probably worn out ignition switches, which are actually pretty easy to change. So here's one of the tests you can do. You turn on a burner that does click just to this first light position and you'll hear the click, click, click. And then you look around to each burner head and you should see a little spark jumping. That's not a malfunction, that's normal. When one is turned on, all of them should spark. Only gas will flow to the burner you turned on, but all of them will spark if the spark module is working and all the wires are working and all the igniters are working. So in this case, all of these are sparking. But when we turn the next dial, we don't get any spark. So that points toward a bad ignition switch. This is just a good way to figure out which part needs to be replaced. So this one we don't hear any clicking. Turn this one. We're getting clicking and we're getting a flame. Turn this one, no clicking, no flame. So we got a couple of switches that are worn out. Typically they tend to be the front burners because they get used more often. And again, pretty easy to change. Make sure it's unplugged. You pull off these knobs, which come off really easily. And most stoves are pretty similar. Here's the burner switches. They're hiding here behind. We're going to take out a couple of Phillips head screws from underneath this panel. It's going to help to release the panel. Now I put a little wedge in here to hold up the upper plate. I don't want to move the upper plate very far at all because I don't want to bend the gas tube. So I just raised it about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to now use a 1/4 inch drive with a ratchet to loosen these little screws, and that'll allow me to take off the screw and the clip that holds down the top panel, and then I can remove the cowling that is guarding and protecting the ignition switches. So I got that little 1/4" screw off and the clip. I'll do the one on the other side. I've already removed the Phillips head screws from underneath. Now I'll be able to just pull the cowling right off. Here's the ignition switch assembly. It's just, they all come in a row. And here's the part number for this particular stove. For about 45 bucks, you probably get it even cheaper online. So I'm going to be replacing that. So I got that last one off, and now I can pull the cowling off. It comes right off. And then here's the ignition switches. They're all in a row. What I'll do to get these off now is just give them a good tug, and they have little clips that hold them, and it'll come right off. Come off the stem. So I'm going to take these all off. And then back in here we can see there's the spark module where the wires are connected. Again, make sure it's unplugged, and then you can just pull those wires off of the spark module. There'll just be two of them. There'll be a black one and a red one, and those are the ones that are part of the switch assembly. So once you get the new one in position, you just put those switches back on the stem, and you can put the cowling back on and put the screws back in, and that should do the trick. So now when we turn it on, we got nice ignition. We're back in business. So hope that's been helpful to you, and please subscribe when you get a chance. Thanks for watching.